Hi everybody, welcome back to the Quarter Acre Homestead. Today we're going to do a tour of some of our fruit trees. This is, let me think about what the date is. This is April like 25th, I think, 2020. So a month ago we did a tour of our experiment with the Bacteria vegetable garden. Today we're going to look at our fruit trees. Oh yes, and one more thing. At the end of the video, we're going to do a drawing for the tomato seeds that we saved and that we promised to do a drawing for someone who commented on that video. So stay tuned for that also. All right, so we'll go ahead and get started. Real briefly, I'll show you the garden again. Right next to me here is our artichoke plants. These have overwintered a few years, and you can see there's an artichoke right there, a couple actually. We have quite a few artichokes coming here. And notice, I'm surprised, this is the tallest the artichoke has ever gotten. It's getting close to my height. If you look in my last video, this was about up to my chest level, and that was like a week ago, and now it's almost to the top of my head. Pretty crazy. So I will show you the garden briefly. Let's see, I could show you inside the greenhouse here. So inside the greenhouse we have our tomatoes. We took orders this year and we are growing a lot for different people. Lots of heirloom varieties, those are doing well. And then we have some squash and flowers, sunflowers and different things, herbs coming along. Since this is going to be a tour about trees, we'll start over here. So in our front yard we have some fig trees, and figs are real easy to propagate. And so these are two new fig trees that we got from our trees. I've tried propagating them myself before, like in pots, and didn't have super good success. So now what I do is just, there'll be little shoots that come up off the base of the tree that are still in the dirt a little bit, and they grow roots. So I just cut those off with a shovel and put them in a pot, and they take off growing. So we're giving one of those away, and we're keeping one of them. This is a Desert King, and this is a Vern's Brown Turkey. So we are again in Washington State about zone 9, and these are the best fig varieties for our area. So let's go back outside. We also ordered on eBay this year, you can see down here, another mulberry tree. This is going to be the Pakistani mulberry. So the ones where the berries get like 4 inches long. So we're excited about that. Really little right now, but they grow fast. So you can see in our garden we have some chives coming. This is our oregano. We've had a few years and it just keeps coming back. This is kind of our perennial bed right here. So we have some celery, some kale, parsley. Over there, our peas are coming along. We have some kohlrabi planted, some radishes. I think I showed you this lettuce last time, so you can see it is getting bigger. Over there on the end, we have our kale and cabbage, and onions are growing well. We have some red orac over that way. So yeah, garden is doing good. Let's walk over this way and start looking at our trees. So in this cold frame here we have our Atlantic giant pumpkins, and yes, I did kill some of those leaves because I forgot to take the cover off. So hopefully they recover and do well, but if not, I might plant another one in there from seed, because I don't think it's too late yet. It's April. So All right, so here is the first tree we're gonna look at today. This is our absolute favorite tree. Absolute favorite. And I'll zoom in real close here. And if you look in between each leaf node, you can see little fruits coming. Down there, that's a little fruit. And that's not the only one. If you look down in there, there's another one. So lots of little fruits coming. They're basically every one of the new growth sections has more of those little fruits coming, and they're just everywhere. So this is loaded. This is a persimmon tree. This is actually the sweet fuyu persimmon, and we love it. We don't have to fertilize, we don't have to spray, doesn't get bugs, doesn't get diseases. I don't even know how long we've had it now, maybe like 7 years. And it just produces a lot of fruit. So we really like it. I did a couple grafts on this tree. So one of them, I'll show you right here. So this is one of the grafts. And let me see if I can get the camera to focus. There you go. So you can see that V shape right in the center of the screen. Right there. That's where I pushed the cutting into a slit in the tree last year. So this is a 1-year-old graft. This is, I believe, the chocolate persimmon. And so when I grafted it, I only grafted like one little piece of a scion with one bud right there. And it grew about 7 inches last year, and now it's budding out again this year. Up here on top, and also right down over there, there's some new buds. So we're excited about that. Also, right down in there, there was a sucker coming up from the roots, and so I grafted a chocolate persimmon on right there. So you can see, well, there. Right in the center of the screen, you can see again that V where I pushed that scion right down into a slit in that sucker. And this one grew like 2.5 feet last year. So, and there's buds coming. So we're excited for that one as well. So this sucker, it is right next to my tree. I decided to leave it there rather than risk damaging the tree by trying to cut it off at the roots. And so we're gonna just have 2 trees side by side here. So yes, lots of persimmons coming. So we'll walk over this way. You'll notice our yard is getting kind of full of trees. It's hard for me to stop planting trees, but we do want to leave a space for our kids to play. So kind of a struggle there. So this tree here, any guesses what this is before I tell you? There's some fruit right in there. Well, I can't focus that close. So there's the fruit. So anyways, this is a mulberry tree. It's the ever-bearing mulberry. We've had it about 3 years, and it is now like probably 10 feet tall. And you can see there's berries all the way up. So we're excited about that. Ever-bearing, Illinois ever-bearing. So it has berries pretty much all summer. Unlike that Pakistani mulberry I showed you, which will have getting ahead of myself, which will have those long berries kind of all at once over a couple-week period or so, I believe. All right, so moving right along, this is one of 5 apple trees we have. This is a Tompkins King apple. The blossoms have mostly finished. There are some up there still blossoming, and we can see little apples coming right along here. So we are excited about that. Usually what I do is I will cut most of those apples off and leave about 2. And then I also do apple bagging, which helps keeps the worms and the scabs off. And I will do a video on that later this spring if you're interested. We get some really, really nice apples. I might be able to cut in some pictures or video of the apples we get in late summer. So Our trees are getting really big now. This is like, again, like 10 feet tall and like 12 feet across. So it does look kind of crazy because I have these logs hanging in it. That's to pull the branches down more horizontal, because horizontal apple branches are more prone to produce fruit. It actually changes the hormones in the tree and helps them blossom and have fruit. So if you look down this row of apple trees, you can see all of the logs I have hanging and different ropes holding branches down. So our next apple here, this is one of our favorite. It produces really big apples. I grafted this one myself at a home orchard society meeting, and I do not remember the variety, but it produces really big sweet apples. They don't really keep that long, but they're good for eating and making pies and stuff. This one did have, or does have, kind of an issue down at the base with the bark coming off, and this is like this all the way around, and we were nervous it might die, but I don't know. I think that might just be the outer layer of bark. So it seems to be getting nutrients through that section just fine. It was there last year and it had apples just fine, but just to be safe, we did a bridge graft, actually 2 bridge grafts, my dad and I, from suckers off the rootstock past that and up to the tree. And you can see those grafts are budding out. So I'll probably break those buds off, but so we know the grafts connected at the bottom. We're just not sure about up here yet, and we're going to wait a while before we find out. But if they did, that's a cool way to save a tree. So that's the first time I've ever tried bridge grafting. This tree also has a bunch of apples coming, so we're excited about that. And this next apple tree, this is a wealthy apple, and the Tompkins King and this wealthy apple were both grafted by my brother. He has a farm where he grafts lots of apple trees and sells them to people, and I think he does a lot of kind of rare varieties. If you want to check him out, his website is farnellfarm.com, and you could email him, ask him about apple trees if you're interested. I do have one graft on this one that's about 2 years old, and I would have to look up what variety, but the graft is either a Rome apple or a Titus Pippin. And I've had Romes that I've bought before, but I've never had a Titus Pippin. So if any of you know what a Titus Pippin is like, let me know. But again, this is the wealthy apple, another good eating apple. And you know what? I actually made a mistake. This is not the wealthy apple. This one's a dark red apple, and it is called Black Amish. So you can look that one up. All right. So this is the wealthy apple that my brother grafted for me, and it's also getting pretty big, has lots of apples. I do have 2 grafts on this one. Again, I can't remember if this is the Titus Pippin or the Red Rome, but the 2 grafts are here and there, and these grafts are about 2 years old now. And you can see this graft, this branch here, has quite a few blossoms on it. So that'll be fun to get a different variety. And the blossoms look different than the tree, the wealthy blossoms. So both those grafts are doing good. This one over here doesn't seem to be having apples this year. All right, and then this last tree is called a Northern Spy apple, also grafted by my brother. This one seems a little bit slow to bud out and bloom, but there are some blossoms coming. I don't have any grafts going on this one. All right, so that's our 5 apple trees. So let's move right along over here. So this is our sad peach tree. This is a, what's the name? peach that's supposed to do well in rainy areas, but you can see a lot of the leaves have already gotten the curl leaf virus, fungus actually, and have fallen off. There are some peaches on it though. You can see some peaches right here. So that's cool. Last year we had like 72 peaches on it. It seems to recover from that fungus later on in the year. You can see new growth coming that looks better. So then right over here we have another persimmon. And this persimmon has kind of a long story. We had bought, I believe, a chocolate persimmon, and then one of my kids broke it off right at the graft. But it sprouted back, and we didn't know if it sprouted from the rootstock or from the chocolate, so we let it grow. It hasn't had any fruit yet, but just in case, last year I did graft chocolate onto it, just in case it was the rootstock. So this is a graft, and it should have good fruit if the rest of the tree doesn't. And if the rest of the tree doesn't, I'll just graft more onto it. All right. So I realized there was one tree that I passed up over here when I was showing you the apples. So underneath this covering is a nectarine tree. And this tree also suffers from that fungus like the peach. That's why it's under a cover here, hopefully to help that reduce that problem. This group came from seed out of our compost pile, and it has had nice nectarines for us. However, it was growing right by a shed, and so I had to move it. So I moved it 2 years ago, and it has kind of been stressed out since then. So there are some nectarines on it this year, so we're gonna give it one more year, see if it will start producing again, and if not, we will replace it. All right, so this is another day, but I didn't have time to get, or I wasn't able to get out to the front yard last time I videoed, so here's a quick video of our fig trees out front. So this is a Desert King fig. Like I mentioned, does really well here in the Pacific Northwest. We have some figs on there. You can see them all over. This is the Breba crop that's just now coming. And this tree is about 4 or 5 years old, getting pretty thick down there at the bottom. So far our Breba crop, almost always all of it falls off, and we're not sure why. But our second crop that comes later on in the year usually does great. So we really like this tree. We got a lot of figs last fall. So this year we're hoping the Breba crop stays on and we get the second crop. That would be cool. So then over here we have another small fig. This one is the Vern's Brown Turkey, and you can see 1, 2, 3 figs on the branches and one at the top of the tree. Yeah, actually there might be 2 up there on the top of the tree. And then over here, this is our most recent tree. This is an Italian plum or an Italian prune. So we really love those, but we haven't had a tree, so we are excited about that. I don't know how long till it has prunes. This is our first year with it. We just planted it maybe 2 months ago, but the roots didn't look very good on it. It was like a bare root tree from Costco, but I planted it anyways, and it seems to be doing just fine, so that's good. It's budding out really well, leafing out, but I think if it was going to have fruit, it would have already flowered, so it doesn't look like it's going to have fruit this year. So that's it for our fruit trees. So next time, in about a month, we'll do another tour, and I'll show you our berries and vines around the quarter-acre homestead here, and also just give you a quick update on the garden. So hope you all are doing well. Let me know if you have any questions on the stuff we're growing here, and we still need to do the giveaway, so I'll do that inside. We'll do a screen capture as we select randomly who's going to win the tomato seeds. We're going to do a tomato seed giveaway. So, actually, I think I'm going to make 2 of these napkins with the oxheart tomato, and we will do a giveaway randomly selected from comments on this video. Alright, so we're going to do that giveaway for the tomato seeds. So we are at commentpicker.com and we have the video address pasted in, and we're going to get the YouTube comments, and there are only 7 comments, so you have a 1 out of 7 chance if you commented on that video, so that's pretty good odds. So then we will raffle and pick a random winner. And it's Andrea Gorky. I'm not sure if I said that right, but we will send her a message and get her address and get those seeds mailed out. So hopefully she gets a lot of good tomatoes from those. Alright, so that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed the tour. We'll do another one in about a month of our berries and vines, and also just an update on the garden. And so hope you all are doing well. Let us know if you have any questions on what we're growing here, and we will see you next time. Bye.
Face